Absolutely not.
I'll do-
Absolutely not. But last session, Orion brought the carts back to the group, uh, and then everyone bid him farewell as he teleported to Abel and helped work on the celestial tree. We brought Brother up to the inn room, and Henri cast Private Second him. Uh, Brother told us he fought deep Cormier. Out of those three cities, only Waterdeep was relinquished by the Chaos Gods. Um, he said that he had to go before the Empyrean court so that he could receive a blessing recommended to him by Bahamut that would be bestowed upon him by a higher power. A crystalline deer entered the room and gave Brother a crystalline key. After that, Kino apologized in a zone of truth for her actions in Daggerford, and she also revealed a sapphire dragon given to her by Fentrix, which she had hidden in her bag. She gave it to Brother to hold on to, and he put it in the bag for safekeeping. Grin tried to advance on her with the hammer, but she used her channel divinity to stopping his advances before she could pass it off to Brother. Brother emitted a powerful prismatic powder that caused him to make a saving throw, possibly tied to the corruption he was fighting, and might cause more from this way. A little while after, a glowing boy with an invitation to the Witchlight Carnival door. He said that it was going to be located in Cormier. It shows up every 8 years and never visits major. We were tickets and invited to visit uh, at our first available opportunity. Uh, he came to relay the message that the Sealy Court specifically had invited us. Mentioned that the identical version of the carnival in one of the domains of dread, which was a evil mirrored version located of the fragment of Shadowfell. He himself as Quiggles and gave us a shimmering golden ticket. He also the carnival located on the outskirts of Monroe, and the ticket made you happier when you held it. After he left, took a long and Kino kept watch with her summoned mastiff, and Henri ritual casted tiny hut. At midnight, she would walk out to the hallway where she was hoping to catch a glimpse of another purple light illuminating the night sky, but unfortunately did not. She did, however, find a small covered basket with a note outside the room, with a note attached to the top saying, "Welcome to the Witchlight Carnival. Come haste, come post, come all." Signed, Mr.
Cool. I put the name of the court in there for you guys. That will be useful later,
Thank
as it is canon,
you.
but you will not be able to find it right now because it is part of the Grim Hollow setting that's getting sanctioned. So
Ooh. And then Brother and Kino cautiously investigated the baskets, but the delicious fruity aroma woke Henri. Kino and Henri split a delicious but mysterious fey cookie with a fruit filling of and a magical color changing icing. The following morning, they also had one more and gave one to Grin and Butterball as well, and Henri gained an affinity with Butterball. Kino also tried a small, soft pink fruit uh, with the inside like jam, and to her surprise, it turned her completely pink, even her eyes and teeth. We followed Grin to the old mine entrance, but found it was still collapsed. Top a hill, we found the remains of a renovated dwarven ruin. We also found a stone throne and statues of Brenner Battlehammer. There was also a similar prismatic powder, much like the one that came off of Brother, and with the same shine as was on the ticket. Butterball did a sweep of the perimeter and saw a few men from the military camp on the other side of the mountain disappear into a hidden entrance on the other side lower down. While we were not spotted, we saw a small army stationed outside the mouth of the ruin, in tents with wagons and ballistas. Honor found a hidden stone at the end of the session, which you pushed to reveal a hidden trapdoor down into the ruins below. Kino cast Featherfall to get down, and she used the enchanted rope to extend a 100-foot rope upwards where the rest of the party could descend to join her.
Cool. Okay. So a couple different things. So Kino, when you stepped down, we'll just start right there. When you stepped down, as soon as you breached the basically the lower part of where there was a whole meeting, like the square, and then of course the lower portion of this, there was a small prismatic flash, and then there was that wavy sheen of just what looks like almost like very faint rainbow stuff that came to again. It was completely invisible before you breached it, but almost like with water or liquid as you touched down. It's now visible because it's been disrupted. You pass by though with no other effect and hit the bottom. Immediately when you hit the bottom, you notice there are two cages here. There are people trapped in this room over in this area here, you know. Um, you can see the light, right? Um, and what you see is very unlike a mine. It's a small room, or maybe a number of rooms. And there is what looks like, I mean, it actually looks well kept. It doesn't look like it's ancient. There's no dust or anything. Um, Go ahead and real quick, I will let you describe your characters. You can go ahead and describe it. Peter, let's do you first since you see that's the first character you see as you come down.
Uh, you would see a character mostly in blue with bluish white hair, blue skin, blue eyes, as he is an air genasi. He is otherwise slight of build and around like 5'6", 5'7". Um, and upon seeing you, would if I'm conscious, would immediately look up and be like, "Hello, friend."
And you see a woman behind him. I'll let you go ahead and describe your character, Amber.
So my character is a gray-skinned elf with white hair that has been mostly shaved on one side. She wears primarily black leather clothing. You can see a few different types of weapons strapped to her body, and she's roughly 5'6", 5'7" as well. She's got a few tattoos available on her body as well.
All right, and Kino, describe yourself real quick.
All right, so you see a tall, armored elven form standing a little over 6 feet tall, with sort of a long, trailing purple cloak behind her uh, that wraps around her like a gown, and at her side, uh, she has this large shield bearing the symbol of this weird purple dragon. And is it here or is it brightly lit?
It's dim light.
So you would both see she has a glowing halo of purple light around her head that glows so bright it seems to bounce off of her eyes. So you see this pair of purple eyes surrounded by this halo. And she just kind of puts a finger up to her lips. And you see behind her, she drops this coil of rope that as soon as it hits the ground, it shoots up 100 feet into the air. Past the opening, she dropped down slowly.
The one thing you notice right away is that they are all bathed in a golden, like both of these characters are bathed in a golden light that has prismatic like glitter drawing down on them as well. So when you look at the actual model, you can see there's a giant maybe tower above them. It must be affixed. There must be something affixed at the top of that or something that's providing the light. Anyway. You do notice the bearskin rug. You notice that there are two what look like bookcases on each side. There's doors here. There's actually these doors are obviously open, Kino, and then there's what looks like a table. The food does not look spoiled. It's some kind of fruit and some other thing that's in it, and then of course there's like a jug with uh, two glasses there. And again, of course, these whatever these are, these strange kind of like cages. You guys see the rope shoot up, by the way.
Do we hear voices? Like, do we hear her talking to someone?
Uh, no, actually, you would not be able to hear anything down there at all. You just would see the rope shoot up.
Okay, who's next to go down?
I'll go down next.
Kino's gonna take 2 steps over to them and just quietly say, "Are you prisoners here?"
Now, one thing, if there was anything you had, for instance, like Misty Step, Phase Step, any kind of like ability that would allow you to shift between material and non-material, any kind of teleport or anything else that would allow you to escape the room, if you had them, you've already tried them, they don't work.
It does seem we are a little bit trapped here, just a bit.
I wouldn't say that we're technically prisoners, but we also can't get out of here.
Were you put in here?
Now, you guys have been in there for 2 days already. This is let me give you some background though. So you've been trapped for 2 days. What's happened though in those 2 days is that every day at 6 o'clock p.m. And the only reason you know that is because the person, I shouldn't say the person, the thing that actually feeds you tells you that it's 6 p.m. It's some kind of ethereal, what looks like small person with wings, almost like they're angelic, maybe fairy or whatever, but they're see-through. And then every single day, at the same time, a table appears with food. The table only lasts for an hour, but the food stays around whether you eat it or not. It will fall to the floor. If you let it fall to the floor and spoil, it will disappear in a couple hours and come back. So they're nice enough to feed you, but they also give you water, but that's it. Right now, there's no table or food on the ground, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly cast a divine sense from where I'm standing, Chris.
Yep. So there are no celestial. There are no undead.
Celestial
It's
means
fiend
undead.
undead, right? Yeah, there are none of
Yeah.
those. This does actually count as consecrated ground.
Okay.
And what does consecrated mean?
Blessed by a
Blessed.
god, essentially.
Gotcha.
So like a church is
Yeah.
consecrated ground.
The
Gotcha.
desecrated's like the opposite.
Yes.
Doesn't
There are
necessarily
there
mean
are
it's
there
good.
are there are other things that are consecrated in good ways that are not churches, but it does mean in some way divinely blessed or just important to a god or something, and that maybe priests have done it, maybe the god themselves have done it, but like yeah, it means important, just like a church.
All right. So while I'm waiting for everyone to climb down the rope, do you need help getting out? Who put you here?
Nobody actually put us in here. It's more that the gates collapsed when we came in this room. There's technically nobody else down here.
Well, there's the guy who brings us dinner, or the thing that brings us dinner.
What's the thing?
I don't know. It's a thing though. It comes over and it says, "Hey, it's 6 o'clock and there's food." And I mean, I do like eating.
Yeah, I don't really think that counts. I think it's just kind of an automated messenger sort of thing. I don't think that they would actually respond or help us out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You do notice that behind you as well there's a workbench. The workbench has some what looks like thread on it. It has one plank of wood, and then it has maybe a vise or something that's used with the bench itself. There is a bucket. The bucket does have water inside of it. There's these 2 barrels, and then there are. It does look like some of the caverns themselves have started to grow through, meaning there's like tree trunks and other things going through here. This does not look in any way, shape, or form like a mine. If this is part of the mine, which it certainly must be, then maybe these must be offices or something.
All right. Well, hang tight. I'm gonna get the rest of my party down here, and we'll see if we can't help you. Can you tell me? Do you know anything about why you were in here to begin with, or who might be sending this messenger to feed you?
I have no idea about the messenger other than that there's the food.
I feel like that might be information better discussed once we're outside of this cage. And we know a little more about you and your companions.
Yeah, very well. Chris, do I see anything in either of the cages that I dropped down in between?
There's nothing in them. Yeah, they seem empty. Unless there's something
All right.
invisible, there's nothing there.
So we send brother down.
Yep. All right, brother. So you climb down.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, bud.
Also,
So you climb down. Once you breach the threshold, you can start hearing things. Let's grab your miniature.
also, don't forget everyone has Featherfall because I can cast up to me and I
Yep.
think 5 other people. Uh, so everyone would have it going down the rope. So even if you fumble or whatever, you don't take fall damage.
Yep. Cool.
And
All
did
right. So
Kino
brother, you're
tell us
down there.
that?
I said it at the beginning of last session.
I think that's right. Yeah, and you would know if he's cast. Yeah, if she's casting it. So, okay. So you guys can drop down or take the rope.
Anu would jump, knowing that it was safe.
Okay. Yep.
Grin will
What about you, Grin?
follow. Yeah, Grin will follow once everyone else is down.
Okay.
He'll
All right.
just jump.
I didn't
Alright.
cast it on Grin. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. All right, Grin. So, all right. As soon as Grin lands, this entire cavern flashes white, silver, a couple different times. You guys actually see within you. Every single person sees this once he hits the floor. You see what looks like the abandoned, lightless caverns of a mine. However, somehow you're able to see ethereally, meaning that you can, even though you know instinctively that this is completely dark, you can see as if you all had low light vision essentially. You can see the caverns, you can see like the figures and everything else, and what you see is just basically caves collapsing with a bunch of gnomes, probably 30 or 40, that are working tirelessly, singing to themselves and other things. All of a sudden, there's just this cave in that starts rumbling going through it. A couple people actually start running and are just completely destroyed by the cave in. Others are basically like half, like it's a horrific scene. Basically, gnomes are getting like split in two as the rocks come through. Some of them are just completely like crushed. The worst of them at the end, literally they just die of suffocation, or you believe they're going to die of suffocation. And and by the way, the air does get split out immediately, so it's pretty quick, meaning that once this cave in happens, it's so violent and so sudden that the air is just like shunted through. So you see probably 30 or so gnomes just die in front of you. But then you're back here, and it looks like the room that you're in. Grin, you see this as well.
Grin is stunned to silence.
Now, what everyone does see once your vision settles, and after that, whatever that was happens, you see that there is a bearskin rug. There's these two what look like cabinets, essentially, bookshelves. They do have books and stuff on them, and then there's a door off into this side. There's some kind of like opening over here. Um, there is a lit torch as well, and then you notice that there's food on this table, but it's fresh. Same thing with the glasses and whatever's in those. You notice the empty cages.
Do we all see and hear that?
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone sees that in a split second, and it goes away.
Oh no, Grin.
Apparently, the cave remembers.
Oh, so we didn't just hallucinate that. It was one of you.
What do
I-
you know about that?
They were able to see it as well. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just turn to Henri and say, Butterball, eyes around, see what she sees.
I am going to ask Butterfly if she sees anything, but first, I'm going to be like, oh, new people? You found people?
They were trapped in here, being fed by a servant. Probably best if we get them out.
Anu's going to wave at the people in the cage.
Do I get anything off of them?
Gross.
What ability?
The
Are you
one
using?
I got granted through the strike team.
Oh, you mean the new thing?
Yeah.
Let me just double check that. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting something. Hold on.
Well, he looks that up. I would 100% wave back to
Yep.
Henri.
Kylena gives like a kind of half wave.
Like, yes, hello, but we are trapped in here and we would like help.
I want to just go up to the bars of the cage and just start examining them. And you two see, I look like a high elf in plate armor, but every part of my skin, my teeth, the whites of my eyes, my hair, everything is bubblegum pink.
You've got a great stylist.
Oh, oh, oh! This, yeah, this. I don't normally look like this.
It is
No,
a little
it's
unusual.
it's unusual. It's great though. Come on, think of all the we could have a whole career for you on stage because no one looks like this. It's gonna be great.
Pink's not my color.
I think you look great,
No.
Kino.
Is
Thank you,
purple
Aubrey.
more your color?
Yeah, I would say so. As you could probably tell, I'm Kino, by the way.
Kylena.
You can call me Whirl because of the hair. Because I probably forgot to mention this earlier, but my hair just sort of always ruffles like there's a breeze.
Ooh.
Was this an anime?
Air Genasi have a lot of anime going on. That's like a thing in the book. That's just like your hair is always like there's a breeze.
The
Amazing.
Even when
Genasi are
there's-
great.
Also,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Genasi in general have a lot of anime going on.
Yeah, I mean
They're a
they're
great race. Grin really quickly runs to a corner and vomits.
Because the Genasi, that's kind of racist, dude.
No, it's because of the gnome thing that he just saw.
Do I see any like keyholes or hinges or latches?
You do see, and yeah, I confirmed there is nothing, brother. No, you see no obvious way to open this. It doesn't mean that you couldn't necessarily find something out by trying to like investigate it, but from the offshot glance of things, it looks literally just like these pieces of timber that are reinforced with like metal, essentially like large, like almost like straight through iron buckles, um, are just something that's been weighted down and not necessarily something that's even openable, perhaps, but you're not sure yet.
Would I have any prior knowledge of how to open these if I'd done research on where we are?
Not no. So unfortunately, this trap is completely like foreign to you. That said, you would know that uh that there is very possibly some kind of magical effect that wants to keep you into the room in the sense of like trying to jump out of it or use like magical means to get out of it. You think your best bet is probably to find a physical way to basically take like for instance the metal and the wood out, but that's just a guess.
Can you tell me how this door closed?
It just snapped down as soon as we entered the room.
Hmm.
I know that there's some sort of magical barrier in effect that's not allowing us to use any of that to get out of here, but I've never come across something this complex before, so I don't quite know how to open it from either side.
And I will wait for Butterball.
Yep. Are you, do you send Butterball out?
Yes, I asked Butterball if she saw anything.
Okay. So when Butterball gets out, she will mention to you immediately that the whole light thing, whatever light stuff is going on here, must be some kind of like magic. But there is magical effects on both of those new people. She also would tell you that the bearskin rug is magic. There's magic on the bookcase. There's magic on the door. There's magic on this door too. There's magic on the workbench. There's magic on the thread. There's magic in the cages. There's magic all around the ceiling. She'll tell you, but it seems like for now, at least, the stones themselves are not magic. There is some kind of magic on the food, and it does look like there's glowing stuff off into the distance, but she's not going to go over there unless you allow her to. She'd
Okay,
have to fly over there to look.
just to clarify that list. It was the two people, the cages, the desk, the wire on the desk, the bearskin rug, the bookshelf, something in the distance, and the ceiling, but not the rocks.
Right, not
And
the
the food.
stones themselves. The food, and of course this door over here too. So all the doors, as well. So
Okay.
every door has some kind of magical thing on it too. Yeah.
Who knew this would have so much magic in it? I would.
Yeah, Grin, you know for sure that there is no such place when you were here that you believed would have magic like this, since you were familiar with the mine.
Right.
This room is not familiar either.
Grin, are you doing okay?
Yeah, Grin's gonna like spit and wipe his mouth on the back of his arm and kind of come back to the party, looking pretty pale, but putting himself back together. I relay that information. Like none of this place doesn't exist. I don't know where we are.
Well, it exists because we're here, but maybe it existed in a different place before?
But I've been all through the mines. Like it's what we did. This whole hill was a mine. And it's not like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
So you think that you're still in the mines then?
Where do you think this is?
I more than think. How did you even get in here?
You saw me. I dropped through the ceiling.
Right. So, look, how about you get us out of here and I tell you where we are?
Okay.
Sorry, real quick. I just want to sit down and start ritual casting Unseen Servant.
Yep.
And I'll say the command word, and the rope will go limp, and I'll throw it back in the bag.
Didn't we need that to climb back out?
Well, but we can place it from
Do
down
that
here
later.
Oh, right.
because it climbs up.
Right. Okay. Is this gate? Does it look like something I could smash open?
Try. Yeah, you could totally try. It's
Please.
hard. I mean, this is reinforced. This is not going to be an easy thing to smash open, even if there wasn't glowing magic around it. But so it's heavy and the wood is hard, but you're pretty strong.
Grin's gonna look through his weapons like like a golfer. What do you guys think? An axe, a great axe, or the
I
hammer?
think you shouldn't touch it until we figure out why it's magical.
All right.
I'm gonna go out of view of the cage door, I guess, to where they can't see me, and I'm gonna activate the Talixin.
All right. All right. So as soon as you activate the Talixin, you notice that the same like pulse goes through. It's actually this like almost like pink energy that like pulses outward. It happens in a split second. It goes through and it gives you the entirety of this area here, which there's more over here. If you look at my stream, this will actually show you where it's at. Um, Immediately when you basically scry the entire area, though, what ends up happening is that that area, that like I guess golden, very like prismatic, like glittery thing, that actually shuts down. And then everybody roll for initiative.
Oh,
Eh.
Does that
There
include
is,
those of us in
and
the
by
cage?
the way, there is no mine. This is the only room. Yep, you guys are gonna roll for initiative too. Yeah. I don't know if you'll get in combat. We'll see, but just in case. All right. Okay. All right. What's who rolled over an 18?
I rolled a 17.
Okay. Okay, you're probably
Hmm.
no one got over an 17?
No.
Nope, 17's the highest.
Okay, cool. All right, who's next? What's
I have a 14
I also have a 14
plus 0 dex.
plus 2 dex.
all right, so there we go. And then who's next?
Anu got a 12.
Okay. And then mine. Okay. All right, Anu got a 12. These guys get to go after you. Uh-oh. Three, four, five, six. Okay. All right. Brother, what did you get for initiative?
7.
Okay, and then
Kylena got an 8.
all right, cool. Okay. All right. So this is what happens. So immediately when you activate that magical device, uh, these just basically materialize out of nowhere. They all look like gnomes. They all look like they are in pretty bad disarray as far as like some of them are split in half. Some of them look like they died horribly. And they are all incredibly angry. Um, they look confused, but they also look like feral and aggressive. Uh, so let's go ahead and start with this. So I'm gonna go apply a turn order here. Unfortunately for you, even though that effect is now gone, um, you you just don't know your current situation. So you can do whatever you'd like. You can't. This ghost here is targetable for you, and so is these two ghosts over here. If you have something that can go through and like basically like hit them, they do have full cover where they are. So just keep that in mind. You'll have to like try your best to like basically like shoot between the holes there or something if you want to try to like target them. But keep in mind, you are still in that prison, and there was a magical effect on you. But I'll let you go first. You can do what
Yeah,
you do, whatever. Yep.
I'd be going way more simpler, kind of just go wide-eyed and just try to cast mage armor on myself.
Cool. Okay. All right, Grin. So it does work. You are able to cast mage armor, Grin. So all of these things turn to you, and even though they're not, even though they're kind of like half ethereal forms, they vaguely like look like they recognize you, as if these could indeed be fallen gnomes from the mind. All the ones that you could see, at least, start to do that.
Do I
Um,
do I recognize any of them?
From the ones that you can see, you don't. That said, you do recognize the clothing and you do recognize the pickaxes that they all have, and these seem to be the gnomes that you would have like known. But no, there isn't any that are recognizable yet. Some of them are horrifically maimed anyway, so they're ghosts. But some of them have, like, for instance, heads completely caved in and other things. It's kind of a horrific scene. They all died pretty terribly.
Okay. Grin is gonna scream.
Yeah, they look aggressive. Yep.
I'll hold an action in case one of them comes at me. I'll hold an attack, but for the most part, he's gonna be screaming and horrified.
Yep. Kino, one of them literally materialized right next to you. It does seem like it's out for vengeance or something else, but it's right here. The one that's closest to you that you can see, it looks like what had happened is that one, his arm is completely crushed, his side is also crushed in, but his good hand is holding what looks like a pickaxe, and he is like angrily staring in your direction. But if you can imagine the horror of this, they are gnomes, so they kind of almost look like children a little bit, but you can tell they're not kids. But it's pretty horrific.
Oh, seeing awkwardly also the shit out of Grin. I am not waiting for them to make the first move, so I am pulling out Answerer, and I'm just going to be slashing down at the one that's in front of me.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Go ahead and roll to hit.
First attack.
Yep.
It's going to be a 23.
Yeah. So Answerer slashes into this thing. You think to yourself, thankfully, you have a magical weapon, because otherwise you would probably just be like basically going through this thing completely. And it does go in how much damage?
I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to pump a Divine Smite into this one as well.
Gross.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm assuming they're undead.
They are. It's very much seem that way. Yeah.
So that's an extra D8, so 3 total.
Yep.
So that's 9 base damage plus 11 smite damage.
All right.
So 20
So
total.
so you are able to destroy this thing in a fiery kind of like divine, like sanctimonious like hit as you like bring like the radiant sun of your weapon down upon it, and it does completely obliterate underneath you.
And I'm just going to be looking up at Grin, be like, don't worry, Grin, we got this. Just hang tight.
All right, Henri, it's your turn. This one's right next to you. This one, so this ghost has basically like turned its attention towards you. It just saw Kino basically smash its other like friend or whatever out of oblivion, and it basically goes to take its pickaxe with both of its hands. Its head is completely crushed in, but its gnome body is still intact, and it's about to like basically swing into you. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I am going to Misty Step 10 feet back.
Okay. As you misty step 10 feet back, you're teleported into this room
Shit.
here. Hold on one second. So this is what ends up happening. You go to Misty Step. Ah, damn it. You go to Misty Step and you feel yourself basically get like pulled into the room. I'm actually gonna just give you another thing. Hold on. This thing is such a nightmare. Um, so you do go to Misty Step, and then you go through and you basically get into the room, and then you also remember that these guys also had a magical effect on them, and you wonder about that as this is coming through. But hold on, let me grab your miniature. There we go. Wow, you are super bugged. Hold on. There we go. All right.
Do you want me to just place myself near the door and we'll say that I'm in there?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually open it.
Okay.
We'll let you go through now? Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
We did
Okay.
it.
Make a run
All
for
right.
it.
So you are able to get away, but you are now caught within that room. And you remember that Butterball said that there was a magical effect on both of these people here. All right. All right. It is this
I
turn.
can't
So
do anything through the door, right?
you can try. It's as if they have full cover. So
I'll give it a shot.
but you can still see them. So you just have disadvantage. Yeah.
I'm gonna attempt to firebolt the one I just teleported away from.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, you can totally still see it. Yeah.
That's a nat 1, so.
Okay, no worries. Yep. So you go to fireball and just blast through the door. Now, as it blasts through the door doesn't appear to take any damage. So it does seem to be sturdier than whatever. But okay. So Gren, this gnome that's got its head caved in, it goes to basically swing at Henri. It sees that Henri's disappeared, and it literally goes ahead and comes into you. So you get to make your attack since you were holding it.
Yeah, I also get an attack of opportunity because it entered my space.
Yep. You do get both.
So
That
that's
just counts as your reaction. Yep.
Right, it's 3 attacks.
Yep.
And of course, he's gonna whip out his brand new Warhammer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
First is a 19.
Yep, that hits. Warhammer's magical, right? The brand new Warhammer is
It
the
is
one.
magic.
It's the
Yeah,
Corpse Slayer.
Yep.
Second's
Yeah.
a 25.
Yep.
And the last hit is a 22.
Yep. All those hit.
So that would be.
You do extra damage to undead too, in case.
You do. Yeah. I believe it's 1d8. You can bring it
It's
up
an
to
extra
the
damage die. Yeah, no, it's an extra whatever it's damage die. It's like baby smite.
It's probably a little bit of overkill. Okay, so adding all that up. 13, 13, 8, 12.
Okay. Yeah, so you obliterate this thing. I assume you're like screaming as you're
Yeah,
hitting it?
he's absolutely still screaming.
Yep. Yeah, you just basically obliterate this thing as it's right next to you. So you take the caved in head and you just basically squash the entire body. It just goes in and basically like shimmers out of existence with radiant energy. The other one is going to this one is going to come into here and attack you, brother. And then this one, 1, 2, 3, it's gonna try to attack you, Kino. This one is going to try to get into the room. You guys notice this. As this is happening, it tries to get into the room where you guys were at, and it's like clawing it. It cannot get in. However, you do see a ghost come right through the wall, and then go over here, and then also go through and basically go out of your view. There is another one coming up here, and you see there are more ghosts. This one's gonna try. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3. So Kino, you notice there's another ghost that's teed up next to you as well. That is their turn. It's your turn, Ember. You can try to go. You could theoretically attack this one. It's just a disadvantage. Because you could see it. You can also see. You can see this one here as well, and this one. You can actually see both these.
So I want to go to the gate where that spirit is clawing at it, and I want to try to stab it with my dagger through one of the openings in the door.
You can. Yep. Go for it.
And you said disadvantage?
Yeah, it's a disadvantage. Yep.
So it's a 13 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, you basically go to stab it, and it looks like you're about to make contact, and then there's like a barrier that hits up where you were about to stab through it, and you just can't get through that. It's bizarre. It does look like there's more magic here than what seemed to be at first glance, but yeah.
All right, then I'm going to back up away from the door.
Okay. All right. Let's see who's next. All right, it's your turn, Peter.
Who are the two new friends who are on the other side of the gate from me?
Right.
As
So this one's Grin and this one's Kino. Henri has just come in with you guys, though. Henri, go ahead
Hello.
and go and describe your character so they know what they're looking
Sure,
at.
I was not
Yeah.
prepared for a character introduction. Basically, you're looking at a tiny little human girl wizard. She's about 17, and she's dressed in like very heavy clothes, like a little heavier than you think would be appropriate for this time of year. But she's looking around kind of confused because she was not planning on Misty stepping into this place, but she still waves hello. It's always nice to meet new people.
It'd be a very quick, good to meet you. Glad you made it in. I would then look at the two guys outside who are swinging away and be like, they look like they could use a little bit of haste. And cast twin the haste spell on them with some sorcery points.
Real
Fair.
quick, did you skip brother?
Yeah. Brother
Brothers
wasn't in
hold
the
an
final.
anchor.
Let's see. How did
Yeah,
we
he's not
skip
in the.
Yeah,
He's just
brother's
not
Oh,
after
you must-
Kylena.
You must not be in initiative. Hold on. Let me just double check. Oh, yeah, that's what happened. Hold on. Yeah, sorry, brother. Hold on 1 second. You were before or after?
I believe I was after. I was the lowest at 7.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay. So we'll do your turn. Real quick before Peter. Yep.
All right, it's just sort of looking around them. He'll move the fold of his robe aside, and the gleaming holy symbol will go through, and he will do turn undead.
Okay. Yep. All right. Cool. So they just have to flee, right? They cannot advance. Read me turn undead again. I believe that's how it works.
Well, it depends if it's
They have a
if its
save.
CR
right,
is
with
lower
you?
than the threshold of my level, they
Yep.
are automatically destroyed.
So if they are CR is lower than 9, let me double check that.
CR 1 or lower.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
CR 1 or lower? Oh,
Yep,
okay.
CR 1 or lower, they are destroyed.
I don't think that's the case, but let me just double check that.
Yeah, this is it right on the Destroy Undead. It's PHP,
Yep.
page 59.
Yep. No, I just need to check their CR. That's a good point. I didn't have that up. Hold on 1 second. I will tell you. Versus. I will tell you right now. Let's see. They are CR. Nope. They are more than 1. Okay. So,
All right, so then
what's
they
the
are
effect?
just
Yep. I don't remember if they save or not. I know they have to run or something.
Just double checking is. Yeah, it's really weird with the new class feature update. They don't.
I thought it was a
Turn
wisdom save.
it's turn undead, right?
Yeah, it's turn undead.
Why isn't that even? It used to just come up on D&D Beyond. What's
Yeah, it
going on?
used to. That's what I'm saying. Like I have
Huh,
to go back and
now,
look through it.
now Corpse Slayer comes up as turn undead. Hold on. Scare giant skeleton topple summon undead. Greater than. Yeah, it's because it's a class feature, but hold on. I can find a cleric. Hold on. Turn undead. 5e.
I got it.
It's an awesome ability. It's super powerful. I just can't remember if it's
looks like a wisdom
All right, as
saving
an action,
throw.
you present your holy symbol for your ascension to the undead. Within 30 feet, must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails a saving throw, it's turned for 1 minute until it takes damage.
right. It's turned for 1 minute, which is awesome. Okay, so let's do those wisdom saving throws. Is it what's the radius on it, or is it like
30
everything?
feet.
Like 30 feet. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna say that they can see you, so that's fine. I'll do that one too. Hold on. Sorry. I think that worked, but hold on 1 second. You said wisdom saving throw 13, correct? Yeah, that worked.
15.
Okay, perfect. No, so that one failed. 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 And then the last one. Okay. All of them fail. So all of them go to turn away. Every single one of these is going to run.
Can I get that opportunity attack?
They haven't moved yet. They have to move on their turn. But yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But they are all going to run. All right, but this is all happening at the same time. Everyone notices their turn. So everyone sees Brother take out his holy symbol. They see the gleaming, radiant light that comes out of it, and all of them are visibly afraid and need to run at this point. All right, now we can do your turn, Peter.
So yeah, I'm just gonna cast haste with the twin spell on the two guys on the other side of the gate.
All right. You do cast haste, but as you go and cast the spell, you notice that it has no effect. Unfortunately, you still have to take the slot, but something around this gate is not allowing you to get spells out of it.
Oh,
But you do cast the spell properly and effectively. It just doesn't work.
that's it.
Yeah, it sucks. All right. Your turn, Grin.
Okay. Grin is going to he stops screaming, but he drops his weapon on the floor and just like sits down real hard.
Okay. All right. Yep. All right, Kino. They have not run yet. But there are basically ghosts right next to you.
All right, I am going to take my first attack on the one right in front of me.
Yep. Yep. You're tagging with answer.
I'm attacking with answer. That's a 15.
15 barely misses. So this is what ends up happening as you go through and try to like basically hit the other one, because it had jerked out of the way at the last minute to basically start bolting. You miss and swing right over it.
All right, I'm going to use my second action then.
Yep.
I had a 14.
Yeah, same thing in the panic. That it just basically like shunts away from you.
Damn. All right, that is my turn.
Yep. Henri, it's your turn. Now you would have seen Peter's character cast a spell on the outside, and it not go through like a helpful spell. So you don't know why that would be the case because you were able to cast Fireball outside of this, so you don't know what's going on. If you want to try to figure it out, you can try to make
Sorry.
an Arcana check, but it count as your turn. Yeah,
Can I reach Grin through the door?
you can try to reach in through the door. It would theoretically seem like you could. Yes, you can certainly try.
I'm going to try reaching Grin through the door.
All right. So, so basically, you try to reach through the door, and your hand gets all the way through the wooden part. But then as you go to like touch him, there is something basically blocking you. It looks like it's like a golden, like basically wall, very very thin, millimeters thin. You cannot hit him or reach him.
Okay, then I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be like frantically asking Grin if he's all right because he like dropped his weapon and collapsed on the ground. I can only really properly see one of them, but Kino's also standing right there, so I'm just gonna hold a firebolt in case I see one of them go to attack.
Okay.
Like if I see one of them turn around from running and go and attack somebody, I'll hold firebolt for it. But right now, I'm more worried about Grin sitting on the ground.
All right. So, so Kino, you notice that this one closest to you here starts to run in this direction. You can attack one of them. So, this one goes to leave. You can decide if you want to attack this one, attack this one. Otherwise, you can attack this
Yes,
one
I
as
will.
one reaction.
I will attack the one right in front of me.
Okay. All right. So it goes to leave. Go ahead.
All right, that's going to be a 20 to hit,
Yeah, that hits.
and it is going to stay where it is with Sentinel.
Okay. Yep.
And
It does
then
stay.
Can I use a first level slot to pump a divine smite into it if it's a reaction?
I believe so. I don't think there's anything that says you can't, right?
It's just on when an attack hits, you can divine
Yeah.
smite. So that's what
Yeah,
you
so
ruled
Right,
for
we're-
me
perfect.
when
yeah.
I would smite things.
So
Yep.
I will do that, and so that's going to be another 3d8
Okay, awesome.
plus the base damage.
Yep. Go ahead and
And
roll.
the double paladin here, or I guess technically the double and a
Oh,
half
yeah.
paladin.
Yeah, so you completely destroy this thing. So same thing. It basically fades away in radiant like glimmer as you completely destroy it.
Yeah, that would be 35 total.
Yep. Okay. This one goes to run. Brother, you can make an opportunity attack. Or you can make an opportunity attack on this one, whichever one you like to do.
I will take that opportunity attack, and I'll just cast a Sacred Flame at it.
Okay.
So Dex of 15.
When you cast Sacred Flame up close, is it a disadvantage?
No, I'm Warcaster.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yep. All right. So go ahead.
Just needs to make me a Dex save.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Failed. 12.
8 damage.
All right, cool. All right, it takes the damage and starts to run. This one's going to also run. This one's going to run as well. This one's actually going to run and it'll actually run right through the wall over on this side and become out of the turn order. This one is also going to run and it's going to run through the wall somewhere. Okay. So for the time being, we're still in. We'll still go to initiative order, but for the time being, there are no visible enemies. You see the ghost basically run through the wall. There's only one that's left, and it's going to have to bolt at the end of its turn. So we'll do initiative real quick we while we're not sure if they're going to come back or not. I guess. Hold on. All right. So if you let's see, let me get your character name. Sorry.
P tier.
Actually, so Kalina, it's your turn. You can go.
So she's just kind of gonna walk back to the door over by Grin and Kino, and just kind of look at them expectantly through the door.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it is technically Peter's turn at this point. This one's gonna basically like fade out as well. It was halfway into like the where the door was and where the thing was, so it'll just fade out into existence. We don't have to stay in turn order yet. They run for a minute, correct, brother?
Yep, 1 minute.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right.
If I was gonna say, if it makes it easier for you, think of those imps that I did the same thing to. It's the same
Yep.
rules that applied to them.
Cool. Yep. All right, cool. I'll take you guys out of initiative for now.
And when he sees the last one go through the wall, brother will just sort of motion his robes back together and say, "We don't have much time. We need to get them out of that cage."
I want to start investigating the desk.
Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead and do an investigation check, and then you can roll Arcana for the magical items. Yeah. All right, so the desk was made of some kind of workbench. There is a vise that's sitting on the left-hand side of the desk. There is some kind of liquid. It doesn't actually look like it's just water because it looks like it's got like an oily residue on the top. If you've ever seen like clear oil, that it has that weird like almost like bubble effect where there's multiple colors in it. It has the same kind of thing where there's like a rainbow amount of colors where there's like an oily film on the top of the water. There is what looks like some kind of very thin wire, and that thin wire uh, looks like it's almost impossibly thin. Um, you have not it also seems dangerous to mess with just because of the fact that it's got a bit of like what looks like maybe electrical energy on the ends of it where it's sparking a bit. You're not exactly sure why or what to make of that.
All right, I'll point it out to brother. Did you say make an Arcana check too for the items?
Yeah, make an Arcana check. Yeah.
18.
Okay. It does appear like the liquid is some kind of dampener. So the liquid in the barrel was used to either try to cancel out or make safer something within this workbench. Your best guess is maybe it's this wire. Um, but unfortunately, because you're so unfamiliar with it, you don't know how it will interact. Just that maybe this liquid is some kind of dampener. Now, you would guess that it has something to do with maybe the trap, although that could just be a coincidence and way too convenient. Um, the one thing that you do notice is that the vise has been pressed in really, 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 like basically it's been like squished into the point where the wood seam here is like pressed in almost like someone overpressed the vise, and there's some damage on the wood on the other side, but other than that you don't really notice anything else. There is this mundane piece of wood that's like just sitting there, but you're not sure what that was for.
And was that the wood that Butterball pointed out before? The wooden plank?
Yeah, this is the wooden plank. Yep. Now you do remember that Kalina had mentioned that she knows where you are. Through your investigation check, that's one thing that you did remember. It is Kalina, right? Am I saying that right?
Kylena.
Kylena? Okay. Yep.
I'm just gonna yell out, now's maybe not the best time to be keeping secrets. Can you tell us where we are?
Can you open the cage first?
Working on it.
I mean, we do have one of your own in here now.
Oh, trust me, I know. She seems uneasy.
Henri, make an Arcana check inside now that you're up close.
21.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So Henri, you actually notice that both of these individuals have that weird telltale sign in their eyes that they have been charmed, both of them. They don't know they're charmed, but they have been charmed by something. Some kind of charm effect. You're not exactly sure it's charm either. Could be modify memory, could be charm, could be lots of different magical effects, but you've seen this before, and now you can recognize it when you're up close and really like looking at someone.
Okay. Anu is going to hold on to that piece of information because she doesn't know how the people will react to her saying it, and she doesn't want to be locked in a room with them when she says it.
Yep.
Kylena kind of looks Henri over and smiles at her. She's like, "You look like a magical sort of person. What'd you guys come down here for?"
Well, uh, we heard that there was some stuff going on from somebody else in the town, so we wanted to come check it out.
What kind of stuff?
I don't. He never actually. So somebody asked us to come down here and help with something, but he was really vague about it, so he wouldn't give us any specifics. And we decided to come by ourselves to see like what could have been down here, so we didn't really know.
Do I feel like she's lying about that?
You'd have to insight check her to find out.
Can I insight check her?
Yep, of course. Henri has to oppose, so.
Yeah.
27. I think she got a 27, so.
Yeah. It's
All
right. Uh-oh.
impossible for me to have been it.
Yep. So you just have to basically say if you're being deceptive.
So for the most, she is telling the truth. She's just not telling the whole truth.
Would I be able to notice that distinction?
Yes.
There's definitely something that she is holding back.
Yeah, that's how these work in my campaign. So when you do insight checks against another player, essentially they don't have to, it's not a true serum. They don't have to tell you what they're lying about or whatever. They just have to tell you if they are deceiving you in any way. In this case, like Henri's saying, she's just not telling you the whole truth. So
Yeah, see, I kind of feel like there's a little more to the story than that. And if you tell me what you guys are here for, then maybe I'll tell you what we're here for. Maybe we're here for the same thing.
Can I ask Kylena to make a persuasion check for that?
now it's been a minute, brother, and nothing has. They have not come back yet. Just as an FYI, you would have known this has been a full minute now.
Yeah, he would be keeping a close eye on that hallway to make sure that nothing else comes back.
Yep. Okay. Sorry, what was that, Henri?
Can I ask Kylena to make a persuasion check to persuade Henri to tell the truth?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's 12.
God, I didn't set it easy. She's gonna look a little conflicted and she's gonna turn and she's gonna look at Kino and grin and she's gonna say, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell, so can we wait until everybody can talk?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, we can do that. As soon as they open the cage, we can all talk.
Well, just 'cause I say stuff that I'm not supposed to sometimes, so I'm not sure if I should say it.
It's just that your companion seemed to think that the information I had might help them. So,
Good. You kind of hear them like going back and forth or whatever, but you're having like an overwhelming feeling of I mean not only guilt but like you really do start to remember that day now kind of vividly. You've definitely pressed this outside of you for a long time. It was pretty horrific. You never got to see any of this anyway. Like you were in the mouth of it for the most part. You didn't really get to see any of the aftermath, just heard about it and got through it. Now that you're kind of in the middle of it, it's probably going to hit you in whatever way you feel correct. But
Yeah, he's having kind of like a PTSD breakdown on the floor there. He has, for the moment, disconnected from everything else that's going on, and just he's like right back 10 years ago to when it happened, and just the shame and the guilt, and then getting kicked out of his home and like thrust into the world alone. And he feels a lot like he should have let the ghosts like just take him. Like killing. I don't know if that's the right word, but attacking that one ghost made him actually feel worse.
you guys all see this, and the other thing that's interesting, Henri, now that you're inside of this thing too, is that you notice that even though there's no gold light anymore, you do feel like the air is actually just a little bit nicer inside of here, meaning that it smells a little sweeter and it's less musty.
And by this point, I'd point out everything to Brother that's on the workbench: the dampener, the wire, the wood, the vise.
Brother will take a walk over and take a look at the water in the barrel. And just use I guess use his alchemical knowledge to see if he can get anything off of it.
Yep, you start to look through it and you realize that this is some kind of solvent. Dangerous, no one should touch it.
We'll let that be known.
Does it work on doors?
It's possible.
Yeah, you don't know, but it's a good guess that it would.
Chris, I just want to check out this table here because you said there was some other magical stuff over here. The food.
Yeah, so the food, well, so Butterball had said that there's some kind of magic going on with this. It's fruit, it's different fruit within this bowl. There is also some kind of like white substance within this bowl. It looks like it's solidified. It smells super sweet. You've never seen anything like it. It actually vaguely looks like marshmallow. It's not, and it's like a fluffy white thing with a bunch of other fruit inside of it.
All right. I'm gonna walk over to the barrels. If I
Yep.
Are any of the lids like loose, or can I knock any of them like with the hilt of my sword? Just kind of bang the tops open to see what's inside.
You can, but you have to break them to open them because they're all basically hammered shut with nails and stuff. They're also sealed, but you could break one open to see what's inside of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just. I'm not gonna use my sword. I'm gonna just take a step back, and I just want to very carefully around the top edge of it with chill touch. I just kind of want to decay the wood away, if I can.
Yeah, yeah, it'll just take you some time. So it's gonna take you like 5 minutes or so. You can try though. You can keep doing it. What I'm gonna say though is that if you keep doing this, it gets harder and harder to like basically take this and like actually like use it in this kind of precision. So you'll have to make one overall check. Just roll just roll a d20 for me. But what's your spell modifier, by the way?
My spell modifier is +3 with a +7 attack.
Yep, cool. All right.
When I was over there messing with that, I'm gonna throw my gloves on and grab one of my better alchemical vessels. One of the good ones from the cabin. And I'm gonna see if I can collect some of the liquid from the barrel and take it over the door.
Yeah, so this is the thing. When you start to go through and do this, because you actually had some that actually protected from the solvent within the Tomb of Horrors, it eats right through it. You don't know how it's actually not eating through the barrel itself, but you could use the bucket that it's in to transport it. But now you know it's really, really caustically bad. It's a really bad solvent.
All right, then I'll try to use the bucket with my gloves and be super careful.
Yeah, of course. Yep. You don't have to roll for this, yeah, especially considering your background. So you guys, so brother tells everyone, you're gonna have to tell everyone to get out of the way, brother.
Yeah, I'll just sort of nod. I'll nod over to. I'll take my hood down at this point, so they're gonna be able to see what
Yep.
exactly I look like.
Yep. Go ahead and describe yourself. Yeah.
Basically, as he takes the hood down, it's a 7 foot tall, for the lack of a better term, it looks like a walking suit of armor. It's light blue, glowing eyes, completely metal visage. The mouth does not move when he talks, and he's dressed in really flowing blue, like heavy, baggy clothing with a cape thrown over his side, over his shield. And it looks like, leather boots on his feet, leather gloves on his hands. And he'll just look into the cage and say, "Okay, everyone, you might as well step back."
Anu's gonna get as far away from the door as possible and pull her new friends to also do as well.
Yeah, the far corner, the one that's all stone.
Yeah, sounds like a good spot to be.
You're gonna have to get, but the problem is Grin. So you just notice Grin like on the floor there, kind of not looking at you at all, kind of catatonic.
Yeah, Grin doesn't move. He just has that 1,000-yard stare going.
Around this time, you also notice that Kino blows off the top of the portion of the barrel because the spell's just not made to do this, and it's really, really hard. It's the first time she's had to use it in proficiency anyway. You did roll a 4, right, Kino?
I rolled a 4 + 3 is 7.
Yeah. So it just completely blows off the top, and it kind of like disintegrates the. It does like basically decay the wood, but the barrel now is like damaged on the top and everything. Clearly, that wasn't your intention, Kino. Everybody, by the way, it makes an audible noise just like when you cast a spell going through it. That said, inside the barrel is what looks like this like grain that starts kind of overflowing, gets splashes across the side of it too, but that's all that happens. You noticed obviously this, brother. You're kind of taken aback
Sorry.
by it because you're like, holy shit, don't like hit this in my solvent, but
Yeah.
Sorry, fucking around.
If you please, you might want to take our friend away from the door.
I will pick Grin up. I'll kind of stand, kind of hoist him under one arm, kind of stand him, can walk him over. More.
as long as Grin lets you, it's up to you, Grin.
Yeah, no, he doesn't struggle or anything. It's not even that he's like limp and you're dragging him. He's just doing as directed.
Kino's just gonna Grin up. It's gonna be all right, Grin. Just don't think about what's happening too much. We don't know what's going on. You'll be all right. And I'm gonna bring him like over where my mini is.
Oh, Chris, I don't think you gave Peter control of his mini.
Oh, I meant to. Hold on. Yep.
This is true and didn't seem relevant yet, so.
But
Yep.
and if you wanted to give me control of Kylena, I can move her for you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Go ahead, brother.
And so he'll move over to the door and very slowly and gingerly start pouring the liquid over the gate.
Yeah, where do you start?
Probably at the bottom and work its way up.
All right. So it works. It's going to take the entire bucket, but you're going to be able to basically eat through within minutes an entire person-sized hole within this thing. Now, as the solvent starts to basically eat through, it crackles with energy. And you notice that as it starts to eat through the gate completely, whatever effect that was holding the golden shimmer of this gate, it starts to dissipate and go away. So once there's a good size hole in here, everyone's going to have to be careful. This is a solvent, meaning that it's acid, and it's a highly caustic, magical, unstable acid, meaning that it's still going to drip down every now and then, and the hole was not big enough to basically have everyone come through safely without being really careful, which means you need to make dexterity checks getting through it.
Would I be able to use another bucket full?
Well, there's only one bucket, so it took your entire bucket to just get a person size like hole in these things. It did not work as well as you expected, and you needed to keep applying it and going through it. So, but it's only this one bucket here,
Okay.
and it was only half full. But you're an expert at this. Most people would have probably wasted that bucket and had to make a check to see if they could even make this work. But you were able to basically see exactly where you needed to put solvent and then put it in just all the right areas to make sure that at least a person-sized thing was going through. It's the best anyone could have done. That said, you would be able to communicate that this is still dangerous. Don't touch the sides, almost like a game of operation. Also, you can't guarantee that solvent won't drip down on them, so they need to be really careful.
Yeah, he would relay all that information.
Oh boy.
Sounds like getting out of here is going to be pretty awesome.
Awesome for you, maybe.
Well, shall I go first?
Sure.
So this is going to be an acrobatics check just to get through it. Yeah. You can actually make a sleight of hand check. You just tell me how you're doing it. But
Well, I got a 21 on my acrobatics.
yeah, you slide really quickly and effortlessly through this without any kind of harm coming to you.
And I looked back at them expectantly, like that was as easy as walking through a regular door.
Now, as soon as you hit the threshold, your charm wears off, and you realize that, oh shit, walk in to this place. What ended up happening is you came. This is all private information to you, but you came down to here. You were doing an investigation, and as soon as you either did a spell effect or used a magic item or something magical, that's how you got caught into this. And then your memory was modified to think that you just walked inside the room. You did not have that knowledge until you left this area.
Okay.
Well, if it was that easy to get out, I think I would then take my turn trying to get out.
Yep, go for it.
Total of an 8.
All right. So you go through and you try to get out. Unfortunately, though, you hit the side of it. It does do, and you get a nasty burn that goes through, and you take 12 points of damage. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
11.
Okay, so nothing else happens. So, but it was nasty. You like so basically this is what ends up happening. You are really careful, but it's not that big, and you stumble slightly, and your back goes across where the solvent was, and it basically goes right through everything and burns you, pretty horrifically. Like you blister up or whatever. It was pretty awful. Honor, you see all this as well.
You okay?
It's fine. Don't. Oh man, what is that stuff?
I'm gonna catch him as he's coming out and just go, hold on, let me see it. And I'm just gonna take my hand and lay on hands where he got the scar, and I'm gonna
Yep.
mending if it ate
Perfect.
through like his armor or clothes. I'm also gonna cast mending.
Okay, yeah, it did. Yeah, so perfect. Yep.
Be like,
There you go.
thanks. I was gonna do that, but like later. So now I don't have to.
You get 12 back.
Hey.
Okay, so Henri is also going to attempt to go through the door.
Okay, go for it.
Guidance.
How tall are you, Henri, again? What is it? 5 what?
No, I'm 4 something. Hang on.
Okay, that's what I thought.
4'10".
That's what I thought. And how tall were you, Peter?
I think I said
5.
5'6", 5'7".
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, go
You
ahead,
said
Henri. Your DC
acrobatics?
it's Dex, so acrobatics. Yeah, your DC is a little
Yeah,
lower.
no guidance.
15, and then what is it? A D4?
Yeah, D4.
Total of 19.
Yeah, you get through it. No burns.
Lovely. We're free.
Let's all agree not to go back
Something-
in the cage room.
Something weird, by the way. So that happened to you as well, Peter. Something weird as well. Honor, when you went through, you could have swore that you walked into this room, and then you remember everything that happened. Wait, no, you tried to misty step, and that's how you got sucked into the cage. So
Do they look not charmed anymore?
they do not look charmed anymore.
Okay. Okay, well that's good. I was a little worried there for a second.
Well,
And also, now that you're sorry.
well, I would like to formally thank all of you for your very kind assistance.
I'm
Yeah,
glad that
we're
we
s-
helped you out. Sorry, go ahead, Kino.
Kino's just gonna take a step forward. And you can see now she's wearing Neverwinter plate mail. So would you mind telling us where exactly we are? Because we meant to go into the mines.
Well, if my understanding is correct of where we are, then you have actually managed to slip through a planar portal into a little side pocket for a Temple of Mistra.
It doesn't feel like we're in another plane. I'm gonna look back up at the hole we came down.
Yeah, I mean, if you look through the hole, you still see the outsides of the area that you came into. There is a prismatic shine over that area, but other than that, you see it.
I mean, you can choose to believe me, or you can choose to think that I'm lying, but if you try to logic how this ended up where mine should be, I think you'll see that I'm right.
Uh,
The one thing that perks up your ears, Grin, even though you're going through what you're going through, is that she said Mistra, and you saw statues of Mistra outside. You also saw you remember everything that happened at that point going through it. So you're surprised to hear Mistra again.
I mean, I've kind of given up on logic at this point. Do you know of anyone or anything else that inhabits this temple?
Like, honestly, I haven't seen anything other than those very angry ghost gnomes and a bear rug.
That one.
Yes, that one.
Thank you, Andre. What did it do?
The bear rug?
Yeah.
It laid on the floor.
But
Yeah, you never got to it. You can tell him that if you want, but you never actually even got to that Barrog.
okay.
I would have also told everybody the whole list of things that were magical, so be careful of the doors, the cages, and the bear rug, and the bookshelf as we're going on.
Now, why are you here?
Anu's gonna look at Kino and Brother.
Uh, well, this is Kina's gonna motion to the comatose half orc. This is his hometown, and we heard of some locals that were in the area that were heading down to the mine. Uh, I guess we kind of got sidetracked.
Well, she said that she might be here for the same reason that we are, so we should tell, right? We should
Uh,
tell them and see if they're here for the same thing.
yeah, sure. What are you here for?
Look, I'm here looking for something. But if you're just looking for a mine, then you know the exit, and please be on your way so I can get back to work.
I look at brother.
Can I tell them?
I mean, at this point, it's not really much of our concern. Maybe we could help you.
Is that a yes or a no or?
Yes, Henri, you can tell me.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We're looking for an artifact.
Supposedly.
Supposedly, we heard there might be one down here.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. To be fair.
It's a strong lead.
Yeah, we heard from someone that someone told them that there was an artifact down here, and we wanted to investigate ourselves.
Is there a particular reason that you want said artifact?
It's a very long story.
Is there a reason you want it?
I was sent to retrieve it.
By whomst?
It just sounds cool.
I've been sent by the Harpers.
My ears will perk up at that, right?
Yeah.
Ears?
Yep.
Put her
My ears will
ears?
do the opposite.
You can actually know what the Harpers are. Yeah, I mean they're a famous organization, brother, and you've now been to Cormier and a bunch of other cities. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
can
would have
know.
known the well from Waterdeep.
Hmm.
Chris, would I know the Harpers?
You would. This is what you would know. The Harpers are a very secretive, very hard to get into, but very prevalent kind of open secret society, basically based to do good within the realms. Um, there have been, Kino, if you would focus on anything within the Harper history, there are some rare instances where the Harpers have unfortunately done more harm than good. Those are not well known. If you were studying them, I assume you would have looked for something like that because they have also been known to, for instance, take out cults of the dragon. That's how you would have. That's the only thing that you would have basically intersected with them. And the Harpers are very responsible for bringing down members of the cult of the dragon. They are directly responsible for killing tons and tons of cultists of Tiamat. They are generally a lawful good organization.
So what does the Harpers want with this artifact?
I would assume that's classified information. Mostly just a retrieval team.
A team of 2?
We're usually a
Well,
pretty good team.
one of the things everyone notices, by the way, is the 2 people in front of you. First of all, like none of you have ever seen whatever she is. She looks vaguely elf, but she is different. I mean, she looks visibly different. But the Genasi, just no one's ever seen anything like that. You guys would have literally no idea what he is at all. Now, I assume you're playing Canon Genasi where like you have something in you that's very clearly planar, like your hair. Does your hair like defy gravity? Like what
Yeah.
makes you very much okay? So there would be that, and maybe your eyes as well. That you generally that's the canon as well. So you guys would notice this is some kind of weird elemental planar half human being. I mean, it would be shocking in that respect. None of you have ever seen anything like it. Now, granted, you have never ever seen a Warforged, and so that's also shocking to you. Like you would the only thing that you would think of as a sorcerer is this has got to be someone's shield mage, but I mean, it's like some mage shield automaton, but you have no idea.
They'd be like, yeah, we're pretty capable. You guys, I'd kind of like point to us, point to them, be like, yeah, I think, strengths recognize strengths. You guys have some skills. We got some skills. Sometimes you don't need a huge group.
The Harpers
Howard.
have aided us in the past. We're more than familiar.
Yeah. We I believe we dealt with them a little bit.
Neverwinter.
Yes. So they've been friends to us.
They tend to be the friends of those who are on the side of good and lawful.
Perfect. Then it looks like we have an alliance. For the time being, at least.
All right.
Green is gonna go pick up his warhammer over by brother.
Yep.
Brother's gonna put a hand on his shoulder.
Green is going. He's gonna turn to brother and just like he's brother. Were they real ghosts, or is something fucking with me here?
Brother, here's what you would know. First and foremost, they're real ghosts, but you did just hear Amber's character say that this is some kind of temple of Mystra in some kind of either pocket dimension. She believes it's on another plane. You don't know if that's true or not, but if that's true, how would the ghosts be here? You don't know.
I think this place pulls our own fears from the depths of our minds. Well, they were indeed ghosts. Whether they were the ones that you knew are, well, it's undetermined. Don't take it to heart. The dead lie where they do. They are no longer of this plane.
What what happens to what happens to a soul if it's a ghost and then you kill it?
Brother, you would know the answer to this. You can choose to answer it whatever you want. If you don't know the answer to this canonly, you can ask me. But if you do, you can answer it in whatever way you deem necessary.
Well, I know the answer that I would give. Shoot me what the canon answer is real quick, just because I'm a little hazy on it.
So would you mind if, since we've agreed to help you find the artifact, would you mind at least telling us what it does for safety reasons?
That's not information that I can give.
Gwen, can I go look at those bookshelves?
Wait, we got to do buddy system in here. This place isn't no good.
I sent you over the answer, Mac. But again, you can answer it with whatever.
Yeah. He would just sort of put an arm around him and give him a little squeeze and say, "There are many parts to a single soul. Those that die with the physical body move on. When they're recalled, there's a fragment, but it's not them, only an echo. Don't take it too much to heart."
Yeah, okay.
It'll be okay. There's nothing you can do to change it. Only be good and better going forward.
Yeah, I just I've spent a lot of time in the last 10 years trying not to think about all that. I didn't see the actual aftermath of, I guess, most of it, so but I'm good. Let's keep going.
It'll be okay, Gwen.
Yeah, we're here
It'll
for
be
you.
okay. It's okay to feel what you feel.
It's probably better.
Remorse is a sign of humanity.
Yes.
We can talk later. I think I might have something that might be able to help you move on soon.
Okay.
For
Grin
now,
is
we're in dangerous places.
yeah, Grin's gonna clear his throat and wipe tears off his face and just, all right, where do we go? Where's the exit? How do we get out of here?
Bookshelves and bear rugs.
Kino and Henri go check out the bookshelves.
All right.
Just as a suggestion, I'd be careful with any magic that you might use. I don't know if that cage has been fully deactivated.
What about passive magical effects?
I don't have any of those, so I can't
Well-
give you an answer.
We can test it because there's now a hole in the cage, right?
It's true. It's
So-
very easy to get out.
Yeah. So now all I have to do, if I just cast a spell, even if I go in the cage, I can just get out again.
It's the perfect plan.
Kalina, how do you fight?
With weapons,
What kind of weapons?
she kind of starts gesturing to the various weapons attached to her body, including the 2 daggers, the rapier, and I think it's a light crossbow that I have.
And Henri, as you walk over to the bookshelf, there are some books, but there's also a small crystal that's floating on the bookshelf, and the crystal is dimly lit blue. It's low light in here as well. Even with the torch, for whatever reason, it's low light. It's the first thing you notice when you walk in the room is there's a torch in here, but it's not fully lit up. And this crystal does glow dimly. It's a blue, like eerie kind of like glow. And then there are 2 skulls. They're not bird skulls in this case. They're human skulls. And then this other bookcase over here has some other books on it, but this is the only bookcase that has that weird crystal thing.
Does it seem like a trap?
You don't know. I mean, any of this could be a trap. The bookcase could be a trap. The bear could be a trap. But you can't really tell. You can do an investigation check and then do an arcana check to see if you can find any magical traps. But right now, it just looks like exactly what it looks like. Could be trapped.
Yeah, I'll do an Arcana check because I feel like if there's going to be a trap here, it's going to be magical. It's either going to be like the gem activates or the rug activates.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Or
ahead and do an
both.
arcana check.
I'm gonna pull a
I'm going to lucky
spear.
them.
hmm
Oh my fucking god. 11.
Yeah, it's
Holy
fine.
shit.
So you don't find any traps, but the one thing that you do think to yourself is that crystal could be a device that you've heard about. Sometimes instead of keeping journals, if the mage is powerful enough, they'll actually keep their thoughts or memories inside of a crystal, and it looks like that. Doesn't mean it is.
It's a holocron.
Okay, what other books are on the shelf?
So when you start to look at the books, they are all the same book, and it's the Teachings of Mystra.
Okay.
Which you didn't know she had teachings, by the way.
I'm going to take one copy of the book.
All right, cool. So as soon as you touch the book, intelligence saving throw.
Amanda.
Oh, damn it. I'm not even next to you.
Hang on, sorry.
Didn't we learn
She's
our lesson
collecting
about books?
She's collecting books for the item. She'd be like, "Oh, perfect.
You're
Here's a
smart.
book."
And
You're smart. You got this.
She took a book from the hotel, and now she's taking a book from here. She was like, "Oh, perfect, a book. Let me collect it." I'm gonna
Yeah,
look at that.
and by the way,
hotel?
on these you don't get your proficiency; it's just your modifier. So, intelligence saving throw.
Oh wait, sorry. That's not a saving throw.
Yeah, it's just a modifier.
Does
Oh,
she
wait,
do this
so-
with advantage because of Butterball?
It would be. Is it advantage?
Is it a spell effect thing?
Yeah, you would get advantage off it because you have magical resistance.
Then the first one is 19. And the second one's 8, so 19. I used a lucky point just to be sure.
Okay. All right, I'll look at that too. When I was reading about this, when you do a intelligence saving throw in any wisdom saving throw, or whatever, does it add your proficiency bonus by default on D&D?
Yes.
It depends on your class.
I thought it's not supposed to, unless you have a
Yeah.
feat that specifically says you can.
No, I have proficiency by wizard class in intelligence saving throws and wisdom saving
Oh,
throws.
gotcha. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that must be why it's fucked up. Okay, cool. No, that's good though. And you said it was a 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you very, very quickly, like, basically you like become like almost like you're about to forget something, but you shrug it off and you can take the book.
I can't tell what I was gonna forget, right? Like I can't tell what it was focusing on.
No, you can't. Yeah.
Do I think the book is safe now that I have it off the shelf?
You don't know. The answer is you're not sure, but you do know that there was some kind of effect. When you fail those, you know that there's something happened. It could be, I mean, it could be a curse, it could be a spell, you're not exactly sure.
Okay. Well, with that, she is going to return to the group because she is no longer allowed to be by herself.
Give me a second, Henri. I will help you. I'll stand by. Let me just. And you see, she pulls out a very sharp, shiny spear from her back, and kind of flip it towards so the handle is facing Kalena. And in Elven, she's just gonna say, "Consider it a loner."
She kind of
Hmm.
glances at the spear and says, back in Elvish, "For how long?"
How long you planning on sticking around? Elvish.
Probably until you stop being useful.
Well, that's a little
Well-
rude, don't you think? Also in Elvish.
Oh, well, it looks like you're gonna be holding on to this for quite a long time, so maybe learn how to use this. And she's gonna put it in your hands and go, "Hold on, I'll be right back."
That was a little rude.
Kino's like smirking a little bit.
I'm sorry there, guys, it cut out. Did you actually did you take the book from her and give it to someone else? What did you do?
No, Kino gave Kylena the spear.
Oh,
A
the
plus
spear.
one
Okay.
spear that I have.
Yep, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I can use a +1 spear. I'm gonna have to check.
Kino has no idea what you are, so if you can't use it, she will take it back. But she just wants to make sure you have something a little strong.
Yeah,
Is a spear a simple weapon or a martial weapon?
it's a simple weapon, so I'd be able to use it. I can't say that it would be more useful than my rapier, but I could use it.
Certain circumstances arise.
It's at least a magical weapon.
So Henry, what's that book?
Look, it says The Teachings of Mistra.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you want,
Uh,
if you want to do an investigation check, you can always flip through a book. It doesn't mean that you'll get much, but this is only you spending like a minute going through the book.
yeah, I'll
It's
flip
actually
through it.
6 seconds, but yeah, you spend a couple seconds.
Be careful touching it. It's magic.
okay.
I probably shouldn't have grabbed a book from it, honestly, but I did, and I'm okay.
Honestly, you should know better by now.
I really should.
Is
19.
You so flipping through the book, it does basically talk about Mistra, and it talks about what it would take to follow Mistra. But the thing that you actually like glean from the book in the 6 or so seconds of going through it is there's an entire chapter on what might happen if you become like an avatar of Mistra or to get to like avatar of Mistra status. You notice that it doesn't actually give you the instructions on how to become an avatar, but there are instructions on ways that an avatar of Mistra might like go about that. You'd have to spend a lot more time reading this to really get to the bottom of that, but at least you know where that section is now.
Okay. Well, it seems cool, so I'm gonna put it in my backpack. But yeah, so it seems like there's a bunch more of this same book, and then also some kind of magic crystal.
Did you magical crystal?
You're cutting out. What'd you say?
Did you touch the magical crystal?
I did not. I didn't. I thought I'd be okay with just grabbing a book.
Brother, do you want me to take the crystal or do you want to come over here? I have mage hand.
I think we
Honor's
should
gonna.
figure out what it is before we even grab it or think to grab it.
Okay. You said this rug was magical, Henri. Do you know how it's magical?
No, Butterball just said that she saw a magic effect on it. So it's magic
Hmm.
somehow. I don't trust it. We could like throw stuff at it.
Well, I was just does anyone I'm standing back here and I was gonna mage hand tug at one of the corners of it.
Chris?
Yeah, sorry. I guess I was cutting out. You said you were gonna mage hand and tug on the crystal?
No, the rug. I'm just gonna flip a corner of the rug.
Okay. If you flip a corner and go through it, it's heavier than you expect. But it doesn't react to your mage hand. It does kind of like settle down. But it is heavier than you expected that to be. You can tell your mage hand was struggling with it. It doesn't actually get it all the way up, and then it goes through and it falls to the ground. The mage hand skips out, which means it's over 10 pounds of force.
Well, it's heavy.
Does one of us have identifying or can identify it?
I mean, we could. We just have to touch it.
Yeah. So either way, we'd be touching it.
We could try using detect magic, see if that teaches us anything about it.
Yeah, we could certainly do that.
All right, I'm gonna try casting detect magic then, and see if it puts me in the room.
Okay. All right, you go ahead and cast detect magic, and yes, you are shunted inside the room. And strangely, you were like, "Oh, why did I walk back in this room?" But you do vaguely remember walking back into the room. You don't remember casting a spell. Man, this sucks. Hold on.
Open the
Let me grab your
door.
picture. Yep.
Well, assuming there's still that burned open hole, I remember walking in the room, and I would like to remember walking out of the room now.
Yeah, you can definitely walk out of the room. You can still see it. It's there. So
That's a good trick.
Like, where was I? Casting Detect Magic?
Yeah, try it again.
If I have no memory of
Kino.
casting it, I would definitely cast it again.
Grin's gonna put a hand on his arm to stop him, just like
No,
no.
here's the thing. First and foremost, you go through. You still have to make. So you guys see that he gets teleported in. Once you leave the room, you will remember that you cast detect magic to get inside of it. But while you're in the room, you don't. Just make your roll again.
Good
Make
dex
sure you
save.
don't hit. Yeah.
Dex check, I should say.
All right. Yeah, you make
18.
it. Yeah, you're more careful this time. Yeah, you go through. It's the solvent's still there. It's still horribly acidic. Yeah, you remember going through, and now you know what happens when you cast detect magic.
That didn't work.
So what'd you learn?
I learned how to get in the room.
What school of magic was the crystal?
Did detect magic go off?
Yeah, so once you walk back out, you actually will be able to see that the crystal is magical. It has enchantment magic on it, but it also has transmutation magic.
I would relay that. And then, does the bear rug have something going on?
It's transmutation magic.
I point at all the things, say the words. A little bit
Yeah,
transmutation, a little bit
as you
enchantment.
look, yeah, and as you look at this, whole bookcase of